Recording now. I call this meeting to order at 2:15 p.m. on Sunday, November 17th, 2024. Please keep in mind that this meeting may be visually or audio recorded. May all members of the committee please state their name for the record.
Arshan Falasiri.
Sarah Rodriguez.
Austin Britton.
Emma Fullerton.
Aaron Rubai as chair. And then any other members of the public or our clerk, please state your name.
Caroline Botts. Megan Laney.
Lucas Nunab.
All right, with 5 members present, quorum has been established. We are now in line for SSB 2024-1739. Make sure to put that down, the bill number, so I can look back through later on. All right. Seeing as there is no author or sponsor present, we move directly into debate, beginning now.
So the assumption is we have just one meeting, so this couldn't pass the Senate. But I don't think Blake's confirmed that meeting in December is canceled. So I'm happy treating this as we would normally and passing it if we would normally. But if that is canceled, this would never pass officially on the floor, right? So, but it makes sense. We're going from
40 to
24 hours.
I don't know why it was 48 in the first place, because every other thing is 24 hours for public notice. Okay. And this means that technically you have to send out 2 emails as pro temp. I know why they did this, because that's never actually happened. This just makes sure that the one big email that's sent out before the Senate meetings contains all the information for the meeting. And there's no constrictive timeline on a Sunday, which makes no sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why you... It seems chill.
Yeah.
I have no issue with this.
I agree. I second that.
All right. Is there any more debate? Seeing none, we're now in line for any motions.
I move to pass SSB 2024-1739 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. We are now in line for SSB 2024-1740. Seeing as there is no author or sponsor present, we're moving straight into debate. Beginning now. Yeah, same thing as the last one. It's a code revision, so it would need 2 readings. Yeah.
Legislative term, that is every time we confirm the elections and every fall, spring, and summer semester, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So there's 6 in total.
Okay. That's a lot of times you'd have to send the extra emails to the Senate President, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it's any time when any member could leave an SMO.
Yeah.
So.
I'm assuming, since it's Blake and Julia, that it's already been run through the advisors, and that's okay. It's just the big thing I noticed is that it's taking stuff away from the advisors and giving it to the Senate President.
Yeah, that's probably intentional.
Yeah.
I don't know why it would go to advising. It's like an internal thing.
Who updates SMO membership on the website?
On the website, that is administration.
Okay. So the Senate President would still have to...
Would then send it.
This to them. Okay.
I think it's to just not have a billion emails this way. This could be one thing that the president sends to advising for every SMO.
Since it's authored by the Senate President, then he's willing and sees that taking on this work is good. So I don't have any issue with this.
I think the reason that 313.011 exists now, the new section, is because SMOs typically are less regulated and they kind of vanish and come back. Same thing with the minimum membership requirements. There are like a lot of SMOs listed under the roster for the Senate, and typically they're incorrect. So I think this is mostly housekeeping.
Yeah, I see for 012 now you have to request to have that SMO affiliation upon their website, which just eliminates that last question I had. I guess the question is, who would the senator make that request to in these cases, right? 313.012. Because if we're sending, every senator has to send an email to the president to try to get that on the website. It could be up to 100 emails. I just don't want either thing to be set up with you're being bogged down by a bunch of emails to get these things updated.
Interesting. Yeah, so I think because SGAO is the only they're the only group that can update the website, it has to just be a request to SGAO. The other one I think is one we can. I think that's more for records. 313.010 for the structure, leadership, and function, that doesn't go on the website.
Yeah.
So ultimately, that doesn't have to be posted anywhere, so it can go to the Senate President. But the roster is updated on the basis of, okay, that makes more sense now that I'm reading it. So the roster is updated by SGAO, that can't change.
Yeah.
But the archives that don't contain structure, leadership, function of the SMO doesn't have to be sent there. It can be kept internally by the Senate President.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, it makes sense to me. I just wonder why they did it, but
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I have the same things, but there's nothing that like, in sort of
Yeah.
like a judicial context, that is like, this is bad.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm worried about every
Amount of
senator
emails.
having to send, I want to have my stuff updated to SGAO and bogging them down with emails,
Yeah.
but I assume they've
That's how
talked to SGAO a little bit and they're aware of what this would do, so.
I believe this is already the case. Because this is,
Yeah.
so when you fill out that form, your affiliation form, you also fill out your, there's another form for SMO membership that INC sends out.
Okay.
We can fix how frequently that's sent out, but
Mhm.
I don't believe it's an email. I think it's a form submission.
So if it's just they get the form responses and they do
Yeah.
that, that's way better than that. That
Yeah.
makes sense. If that's the way that works out, then I don't see any issues with this regardless. But
Cool.
All right, any more debate? Seeing none, we're now in line for any motions.
I move to pass SSB 2024 of 1740 by unanimous consent.
All right. Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. We are now in line for the best resolution, SSB 2024-1741. Seeing as there is no... Actually, technically, everyone is a sponsor.
Yeah.
This is a rare case where, I think this is fine to say all senators past and
I'm curious
present.
about the validity of this. Is that okay?
It-
You can
it's-
say that?
it's
yeah, that
not-
was my question of asking if we could do past and present.
It's
yeah.
not really valid. I think it's more of a... I don't know. I think this is
Like
the
an
only
honorary.
this is the only case where I would think this is all right. But no, it does not mean that
Yeah.
the 100 senators that have rotated since what? When was the Senate founded?
I don't
Do you know?
Long
Was it
time ago.
1909?
Yeah.
Long time ago. Yeah, and this, I think the purpose of this is to not bog down the sponsors line,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I think every senator would sponsor
One
this.
thing I just noticed, there
Mhm.
should the last day 4 clause be, let it finally be resolved?
Yeah, I was about to say, I
Or is
think
further okay in that scenario? There's 2.
I was going to ask.
It's an interesting case. Usually that doesn't happen
I
because there's
know.
more than 2. We can make it finally.
Okay. I have no grave areas with this. Like, it's chill.
Yeah.
Or for it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it doesn't matter if we
No.
add it further or finally. Okay.
Not if there's 2, therefore
Okay.
clauses.
Yeah.
Because technically you would finally indicates that it's no longer further. So,
Yes, it doesn't really matter if it's further.
Yeah.
Finally, because there's 2.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Google's telling me to edit stuff, but it's wrong. So, yeah, any more debate? Seeing none, we're now in line for any motions.
Okay. I move to pass SSB 2024 of 1741 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Shout out Alejandro.
We are now in line for SSB 2024-1742. No author or sponsor present. Move right into debate. 5 minutes beginning now. Okay. The jerk in me wants to postpone indefinitely because the formatting is wrong. However, we can fix that very easily by striking sections 1. Okay, this is an important lesson for us as a committee. You only have to include the section that you are amending.
Okay.
So this only amends section 6 of Rule 2. So the other sections 1 through 5, 7 through 10 don't have to be on this bill. Now, if it were, say, section 6, subsection A, subsection II, you would have to include all of section 6 up to that point. Usually, there's times when you don't have to. The point is, when the secretaries go through and change the codes on the website or the R&P, they only look at the edits. So you only have to include any section that you edited. Actually, I take back what I said before. You wouldn't have to include anything except for section 6 and then subsection A, that line, and then II. You would have to do that so they would know where it's going. But like, you wouldn't have to include anything else. Just the things that are being amended in the codes, and then how to get there.
Okay.
So, in this case, like section 1, I don't know why it looks like that, but we can just strike it.
Wait, what's this?
1742, formatting is wrong.
So, we want to strike 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
You could just say every section but section 6.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
Is that is there any formatting wrong in 6? Or once you strike everything else, is that fine?
No, 6 is fine.
Okay.
Like, the formatting here is how it's supposed to look.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
The
guess
other formatting for the striking of the David and Wanda Brown Center for Leadership and Service, I'm not familiar with that. Is
Yeah.
that just
I'm
separate from
not
student
either.
engagement?
I had the same
And if there's a
question.
reason for striking it,
that's a great question.
if they're used to having a liaison and they're no longer getting one, I just don't know.
I
If that-
imagine there's a reason. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want us to say we had a liaison that was interacting with them and then we're just cutting
Yeah.
it off without
Yeah.
discussions, but
I lay the committee at rest. Julia, is Josh the student engagement liaison?
No,
Who is?
he might be. So I'm not in charge of liaison stuff, but I don't know. We would not have appointed one for student engagement if it's not in the codes to do it. And I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Do you know what the David and Wanda Brown Center for Leadership and Service is, or how it
So I
relates?
just Googled it, and like, honestly, if I'm gonna be real, a lot of the liaisons, unless we're like having an initiative with that other space, they don't like, they're not informed of much.
Oh, it's the
what they
Brown
do.
Center. Yeah, this is
So
different.
So it's still existing, and it doesn't
Yeah.
have a relationship to student engagement, from my understanding.
Yeah, I don't think it does. If it's the Brown Center, it doesn't at all.
Yeah. It's still
Interesting.
active, 2024 to 2025.
Cool.
Is there a reason for changing it from student engagement to department of? Or is it just like terms?
That's just terminology, I believe.
Oh, remember Caitlin Matthews? She does stuff with them.
Okay. Yeah, I guess this is more of a team thing. So I'm assuming Josh understands how this works better than I do. And that there isn't a specific director liaison relationship, and that it's a team. Like, the whole department collaborates with the with the liaison. That would explain
This
the
are the partner student engagement.
the language
That makes
change.
sense.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, making sure I'm not tripping. All right, any more debate? Seeing none. Oh, also, I don't think you have to make a motion to do this, but I want this on the record. Someone please make a motion to amend the font of, I think it's just the top lines, to Garamond. Why that's the font we chose. Oh, wait, no, is it Garamond? Oh, I never called it back to order.
Yeah, you did.
Shoot, I called the meeting back to order. Any more debate? Seeing none. Yeah, I don't know what the font is for the rules and procedures, but I think it's Garamond.
What, any font issue, the Senate Secretary is automatically.
I know, I
correct,
just
so you
feel,
don't
I
have to
feel
do it.
bad. Okay. I'm just gonna do it myself. Okay. Are there any motions?
I move to amend SSB 20241742 and strike every section that's not section 6. And do we do font?
But no, by unanimous.
Finance consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. I'm going to update this really quickly, so make sure this works for everyone.
Wait, so did you motion to,
Yeah.
for the font though?
No,
Not the font.
no.
Okay.
Okay, did it change for everyone yet, or just... Wait, let me change it to Garamond and see if it looks better. Yes. this is sizes. Sorry, I'm doing some spacing stuff, but when am I not?
Point of information, do you need the year at the top? Like, why is it bracket?
Yeah, I was gonna I noticed
Yeah,
that as well.
I'll do that. That's how the template displays it. I hate the template.
Josh did his best.
What date
Yeah.
are you guys referring to? Point of information.
On the top, Sue
The-
Senate bill year.
In the brackets.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
just didn't edit that part.
Yeah. And his name is bold. Awesome. Okay, that looks
Oh,
better.
there we go.
There's still something wrong with the rule part, but again, the secretaries won't have to touch this, so they only have to do the bottom
This
part. So
is-
as long as that's correct, it's not a problem. All right. Any other motions?
I move to pass SSB 2024-1742 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. All right, we are now in line for SSP 2024-1743. There is a sponsor present.
Julia, would you like to speak on this?
You have 5 minutes to present if you'd like.
I have not pulled it up. Can I look at it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Honestly, okay, also I have to go to R&D in half an hour and I have some legislation if... Oh, okay, I can present on this. Okay, yeah, basically, so a giant part of being in Senate is making sure that we're engaging with constituents, and an issue that has been seen throughout the years from the beginning of the time that I've been in Senate even to now, even though it's gotten significantly better, I think is transparency. And also not just transparency on what we do, but that we exist, period. So we feel, and Senator Melamed and Senator Sharma also, I guess, feel that a physical feedback box would help inform people that Senate is a present entity and this can be inside of the rights union. And so I guess the idea behind this is to just make people aware of our presence, and if they don't know how to look us up or like can't necessarily reach us or can't find our emails or whatever just because they don't necessarily understand the avenues as to how, they still have the physical box, and that the physical box will be there so they know at least like there's people looking out for them, and that is us.
All right. We're now in line for 5 minutes of question and answer, beginning now.
Have you already? Well, you might not be the authors, but do you know how much efforts has been made to like talk to advising about this effort already?
Yeah, from my understanding, advising has already been spoken to about this. I don't know like what the conversation was like, but they definitely did.
I know online we have access to our emails and things like that. Is there an online kind of version of a feedback form for students to give if they aren't an in-person student specifically?
So honestly, probably not that I'm aware of. I guess like it could potentially be on the website, but at the same time, like if you can't necessarily navigate to the website, then a physical one would just be good.
All right. Any more questions?
How would this, I guess who would monitor the box? Do you know, like who would check feedback? How would that be transmitted to the Senate or the senators if it's that their constituents giving feedback?
Yeah. So right now, since nothing has been implemented, nothing is codified, but I don't see any issue with like Senate exec doing it, like the Senate president and Senate pro temp, as long as they're willing. If it's something that's codified and something they have to do, then you know they would have to. So I'm anticipating like if people are like I don't even know if this would necessarily be utilized. Like I don't know if people would even write stuff and put it in it. I don't really know how that would work. There would just have to be like a trial period 100% before anything is codified at all, in my opinion.
All right. Any more questions? Seeing none, we're now in line for 5 minutes of debate, beginning now.
I don't see an issue with it. I agree with Senate Pro Temp's comment that we need a trial period. So
Yeah, I spoke with Senator Melvin and Sharma about the effort. I agree with everything. It seems to align with this Senate's mission to increase transparency, accessibility, all that. I think it's good.
Yeah, my only question was how who would check it and stuff, and
Yeah.
if the Senate executive is willing to do that, I think there's no problem
Yeah.
having a trial period. I would be interested in making sure that there's something online, but that's entirely a separate thing, and having something in person helps people who are physically there and I want to give feedback have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So it helps get that feedback.
I think it's a really good idea.
So yeah, a little bit of inside information. We actually talked about this at the rights board meeting, and they seemed open to doing it. So
Yay.
yeah, not a huge change. There are two things in here that are funny to me, but not any problems. The over 100 pieces of legislation, and this is bill number 1743. That's like saying that Senator Emeritus Pelton wrote more than 2 bills. Slight understatement, but it's correct. And then the total enrollment, this source says that's right. The registrar data doesn't agree, but again, who am I to contest that? So I think that's totally fine. But yeah, I think this is a great idea. There is an app that exists that allows people to do this, but it's not really well known. I don't know if anyone's heard of Candor. It's an app created by one of my friends, Nishant, and he actually won several awards for it. So it's on the App Store if you want to download it. It's very cool, but I think having a physical box is a great idea. All right, any more debate? Seeing none, we're now in line for 2 minutes of final privilege.
I wait.
We're now in line for any motions at this time.
I move to pass SSB 2024-1743 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We are now in line for SSB 2024-1744. Let me move this really quickly.
I'm assuming you guys already heard our legislation. Yeah.
Yes.
Move Alice. Twice more.
Oh no, yours is right now.
You had one. You
The-
sponsored
Oh,
one
this-
before.
Community service
yeah.
constituency.
Okay, I can present on this.
All right.
All right.
We're in line for 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Basically, I think that it would be a good idea, just for the sake of other senators, to make it really clear what is necessarily considered a community service requirement or not. Just because, we've had people come in and, submit pro bono work that was, out of the state over the summer, and, we weren't sure on those guidelines, so that was a discussion that the committee had to come to agreement on. And also, if you donate money to something, does that count as community service? And we're I probably shouldn't. So, this is just making things clear for the sake of all senators, to give everyone an easier time completing their constituency, and to also make sure that, they are not going out of their way to do something that's not going to count for them. I'm anticipating, so I'm open to potential amendments, which I understand. I leave the rest of my time.
All right, we're now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A. Would you be amenable to striking the words "shall be within Alachua County" and?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Just for clarity's sake, is the monetary donation requirement, is that just to prevent any issues, or has there been an issue in the past with that?
No, there hasn't been issues. I know, so, for example, sororities and fraternities tend to have, their philanthropy events. I think if you're working a philanthropy event and you're putting in the time, that 100% should count, because, you're physically there, you're doing a good job. But I think, buying a ticket to those events shouldn't necessarily count for anything, because then you're, an attendee and you're not actually doing anything. You're just paying.
Right.
Unless it's, you have to pay, but then also you have to, do stuff. Then that's a different story. And obviously everything would be up to the committee, but this seems the most fair based on the submissions that we've gotten in the past.
Would you want to include, after monetary donations and attendance at fundraising events? Because I feel like that's going to happen, where someone attends an event, but they aren't working the event.
I mean, at the same time, I feel like when people attend, they attend SG events and SG funded events, but they don't necessarily participate. They just kind of like take a picture and go. We strongly discourage it, but there's not necessarily a way to prove that they were 100% like.
Okay.
It's just been an issue with approval in the past. I understand what you're saying, and
Yeah.
RNE definitely prefers if they go and do stuff for it. There's just not like a set method of proving it, and hasn't been for the other constituency points. So it would only be fair to not also include it for this.
Got it. All right. Any more questions? Seeing none, we're now in line for debate.
I agree with
Yeah.
her statements.
Yeah, I agree with the pro temp. Like, she served on RNE previously. Like, I trust her opinion on what's best for the committee. That's good.
All right. Seeing no more debate, we're now in line for final privilege.
I agree with that.
All right. Any motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 2024-1744 by unanimous consent.
I object.
I move to amend SSB 2024-1744 by striking the words shall be and then and. In number 7, shall be will be striked, and then the word and will be striked. No?
Shall be within Alachua County.
Shall
and.
be within Alachua County and. Forgive me.
Any objections to that motion? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Sorry, Austin.
I heard you start repeating it. I was like,
Any other
I'm sorry, I
motions?
have to be rude.
Any other motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 2024-1744 by unanimous consent.
All right. Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. All right.
I move into the consideration of SSB 2024-1746 by unanimous consent.
All right.
I object.
The motion's been objected to.
Follow up. I make the same motion by roll call.
All right, there has been a motion to move into the consideration of SSB 2024-1746 by roll call vote. May the clerk please take roll.
Emma Fullerton,
Yes.
Arshawn,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Austin,
No.
Aaron.
Seeing as my vote will not affect the outcome, I abstain from this vote. In a vote of 3 to 1 to 1, that motion passes. We are now in line for the consideration of SSB 2024-1746. Oh. All right. Okay. You any authors or sponsors present? Both of you. You have 5 minutes of presentation whenever you're ready.
So basically what this resolution does is reaffirming that UF complies with Title IX. If you don't know, Title IX was passed in 1972 and prohibits any and all sex-based discrimination at all educational institutions that receive federal funds, so UF is included in that. We ask that UF's hiring and staffing procedures are in compliance with Title IX, while also reaffirming the Senate's commitment to Title IX to ensure that all students and staff are treated with equal safety, inclusivity, and dignity. In order to guarantee this compliance, the resolution calls on the university to do the following: require an annual Title IX review of hiring and supervisory practices to maintain a culture of safety, inclusivity, and dignity. Require all faculty, athletic staff, coaches, and assistants to complete regular Title IX training on responsibilities and reporting obligations. Increase Title IX policy transparency via public email summaries of compliance protocols and annual reports of on any UF initiatives that aim to foster a safe university environment. Allocate additional resources to the Counseling and Wellness Center and student legal services to ensure that any current or former students and staff that have been affected by instances of alleged or confirmed misconduct are able to seek the adequate support that they need to require during their times of need. Encourage collaboration between UF Title IX office and other administrative departments to offer or supplement Title IX training and resources in order to ensure that students and staff are aware of their rights and reporting options under Title IX. Develop either through the Title IX office or otherwise an information awareness campaign of Title IX resources available to all UF students and staff. I yield.
Austin, would you like to?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Usually when there's two people, like you yield to the other person. Yeah. Just.
I yield to Austin.
Yeah. It's fine. There you both wave. It's fine. All right. We are now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A, beginning now. All right.
What was
Okay.
your reasoning for writing this bill?
obviously with 1745, that was a focus on Todd Golden. However, we realized that that is an ongoing investigation. So regardless of the outcome with that investigation, we want to make sure that the Student Senate upholds its values and principles of representing the students affected by this, students that might be affected in any other situation similar to this, and we don't want it bogged down by any current politics or investigation.
I have a question. In the bill, you talk about data, and then I was looking at the sources to find which one it was, and I really can't find any statistics or numbers. If you could direct me, because maybe I just didn't
What
catch
are you
it.
referring to, sorry?
The data that. Hold on. let me
Which
find it.
whereas clause?
Not in this bill, guys. Psych. I retract that comment, I guess.
Okay, I have a few questions. Okay. First of all, you amenable with us bolding the names in the author and sponsors line? Okay. Then, okay. Okay. So in the whereas clause that says data suggests there is need for technical assistance and education about Title IX regulations for students and college personnel, do you know if Title IX regulation education is available currently, and if faculty and or students are mandated to take those courses?
Sorry, I was expecting him to answer the question. I didn't hear your question.
Oh,
I was thinking of pause. What was the question?
There's a question that suggests that data suggests there's need for technical assistance and education. First of all, what does technical assistance mean? And do you know if employees, faculty, staff, or students have any requirements to take Title IX training programs here at UF?
Technical assistance, I can only go off of what I think it means, which is the idea of, obviously Title IX is a federal law. There's a lot that goes into it. Technical assistance would be, how do you understand what it is? How would you go about the day-to-day to ensure like what it is and explaining it in that sort of manner? Education-wise, I can't speak for all of UF about what the different standards are. I know I am an employee at UF. When I got hired to employee, I did have to do some Title IX training, but I believe that probably varies by college and by actual hiring unit and actual position. So I know there is some, and I know for people who have more front-facing jobs, they probably have more Title IX training. But as far as if it is sufficient and if it is uniform, I'm unsure.
Would it be fair to characterize that clause as saying that data suggests that education about Title IX regulations benefits students and college personnel at academic institutions? It's a fair characterization? Okay. What is this? Title IX offices may offer references to resources both on and off campus for medical and mental health support. I just don't know about what references really means, or Title IX offices in particular.
I'm going to be honest, not going to quote that clause.
Okay.
What I assume that this means is if we look at the source number 7, and within our supportive measures, the no contact orders, academic support, and housing accommodations and other resources provided by the Title IX office, dependent on situations where individuals feel like they may need it. Section 2 of that website, or sorry, section 4 of that website. What specific resources in particular, I'm assuming are depending on cases, case-by-case basis, as to what individuals might require or need. I will also say that for medical mental health support, we are asking that UF provide more resources to the CWC to ensure that their support is there for any individuals who need it, should they be a victim of any alleged or confirmed abuse or harassment.
Sounds good. Anyone have a problem with me laying it at rest? Okay. lay the committee at rest. I'm just gonna ask a few more questions. Yeah.
Wait, real quick, are you amenable to editing one of the names in the Proviso that I just noticed is spelled wrong? Hosseini is spelled incorrectly. I just noticed.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. In the second therefore clause, do you know if there currently exists an annual comprehensive Title IX review, and what does annual comprehensive Title IX review mean?
We are currently asking just if there isn't any current policy that there be one. I asked advisors, they were not sure either. In terms of comprehensive Title IX review, just ensuring that any and all hiring practices currently going on with UAA or any other agencies that hire UF staff are compliant with the regulations put under Title IX, and to ensure that no hiring processes are slipping through the cracks when in regards to this measure.
I do know from my work in the GAU, Title IX had an update over the summer, the spring and summer, from Biden administration, and we had to wait for negotiations related to Title IX because that would require them to do updates, which is they hadn't been updated since the last Title IX update. So I think they update, from that indication I got, it was implied that they update it when they get fresh federal Title IX resources, but there's not an annual review built into the system.
Okay.
There may be in some units, but
so in the third therefore clause, it says that the UF Senate urges UF administration to require all faculty, athletic staff, coaches, and assistants to complete regular Title IX training. Do you know if those individuals currently have to complete Title IX training?
I would assume it's dependent on the department. Again, this is just ensuring that if they do not, that they start.
Okay.
Can I ask a follow-up to that question?
Yeah.
I googled it, Title IX training, and according to the Association of Title IX Administrators, there's over 50 courses available. So, is there any process for which, you would encourage a specific course to be, chosen for instructors and faculty to take?
I would let that be up to the Title IX office.
For the fifth therefore clause, it indicates that you're calling upon UF to allocate additional resources towards mental health and support. Would you want there to be additional resources, or just are the current mental health resources not adequate to help all of the students affected by a variety of different things? Would there have to be additional resources provided? Do you know if there isn't enough resources, or if this would have to be a whole new department? Or
I will say that the advertising of any resources currently available are not widespread, so I would ask that these resources be bumped up so that way there is notice of it for students. That way they know to go to the CWC, and that no matter what harassment or abuse they may or may not have gone through, they have those resources available. So it's mainly just like a security check to ensure that, again, they have what they need after any of these encounters.
so is that additional resources or additional advocacy and transparency?
I would argue that they're the same thing, but I'm fine with either wording.
Okay.
clause directly following that, for the leave of absence, I will be quite frank, I think that's something that if we were to go forward with this, we would have to strike that in its entirety. Just for the standard of different employees are under different contracts, and especially when it comes to unions and stuff, they have their own built-in regulations on what leave of absences are. I only know because I've been negotiating them for a year, and so I decided I don't think we can insist on that, and I think that would require a lot more years long of forethought to get something in there, regardless of how I feel about if it's a good concept or not.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
do you know if Student Legal Services currently provides assistance to students potentially affected by harassment or discrimination under Title IX?
I assume they provide some, but I don't know at what level they were. My instinct is to say they do provide one, but I haven't heard of any, and it's not. I wouldn't say it's broadcast enough to know if it's acceptable.
Okay. Would you be amenable to striking the word former from the third to last therefore clause? When we're talking about UF resources, we typically don't allocate anything to former students. It would be current students only. I don't know how we would allocate them to former students.
Does SLS help former students? No. I'm fine with that as students.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if we're already discussing that there aren't enough resources, and I think if we keep it to current students, we prevent the future issues versus former students.
All right. That's all the questions I have. If anyone else has any others. All right. So I call the meeting back to order. We're now in line for 5 minutes of debate, beginning now. Okay. So, yeah, as for the first whereas clause I talked about, technical assistance in education, this is offered currently. This data isn't surrounding UF or anyone in particular. To go off of that, Title IX training is required for all faculty.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Athletic coaches, staff, it is mandatory, I believe, annually. And then going forward, yeah, I kind of see where Max was going with the resources, both on and off campus. I think it's probably better to just indicate that the CWC offers, because that's specific to UF. This is a list of references, but we can just give them the location where these resources are available.
That's going to be more helpful for students if they need that.
Yeah, us calling for an annual Title IX review of these practices, I think, is an overstep, and I don't really know what it means. Yeah, calling for us to... Yeah, I don't really know what Title IX review means, because Title IX is a specific set of things that faculty administration have to follow. So the review coming when new things are brought down from the federal or state governments, that makes sense. I'm not sure what other review would be done. If it's just a review of hiring practices, I'm not sure we can really call for that as a student government.
Could we support, the student senate supports reviews of hiring and supervisory practices within units to reinforce culture of safety and inclusivity? If we just say we support any reviews of these practices to ensure we have those cultures? Would that relieve your concerns there?
I don't know. With supervisory, I'm not entirely sure. If I were to say something there, it would be supports consistent Title IX compliance within all university units to reinforce a culture of safety and inclusivity.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this clause about requiring them to complete regular Title IX training, they already do. I would strike that clause. It's already mandated. And then SLS does not do this.
Yeah, the SLS is...
Yeah, I had to ask about that, but they do not, I found out. So in that clause, same with additional resources, I think it would be better to say encourages UF to allocate, to continue allocating resources towards mental health support, towards mental health and well-being, to support students potentially affected by, just to strike out the SLS part. And I don't think additional resources, it's really more of increase in awareness, which I think is a reasonable thing. Usually resources, if you're increasing resources, that's a monetary contribution of some kind for them to do to boost the number of students that they can do this for. I don't think this resolution is trying to separate students affected by harassment or discrimination from other students with mental health struggles in their everyday lives. So I think we should probably just stick to encouraging that support broadly for mental health resources, in saying that it does include these individuals. The insisting on a policy, we can't do that. Former students, talked about that. And then that's mostly what I have. Is there any more debate?
No, you set it up pretty well.
Yeah, I think this is a necessary bill.
Yeah, I really like it. The only concerns would be what we talked about was exactly how much we're demanding from the administration. But I think Aaron did a good job at looking through
Yeah, and if there's more, we can.
We have 10 seconds.
Yeah. Everyone keep looking through it. See if you see anything else that I didn't.
It's technically time.
Okay. We're now in line for 2 minutes final privilege. Whenever you are ready.
I waive a question.
I win.
Okay. We're now in line for any motions at this time. You want me to do my thing, or?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay. I just bolded the title, authors, and sponsors. Also, I'm going to make this size 12. Really quickly. It's weird. Sometimes size 11 looks better. I don't really know why. We'll figure that out later. Okay. Do I hear a motion to amend SSB 2024-1746 to to amend the whereas clause that begins with data suggests, to make that clause say, data indicates that education about Title IX regulations benefits students and college personnel at academic institutions by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
What did you say? Sorry. Do I need to write down?
No.
Okay.
I move to amend SSB 2024-1746 and change Hosseini to proper spelling by adding an I before the N by unanimous consent. Yeah, okay.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Did we already move to bold the names?
You don't have to. That's a thing. Yeah, I can do that. Do I hear a motion to amend 1746 to change the whereas clause mentioning source 7 and references for mental health resources to state that the Counseling and Wellness Center provides resources for students seeking mental health support.
So moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
We move to strike.
Yes.
I move to strike I move to amend SSB 2024-1746 by striking the second to last therefore clause.
Oh, okay.
Is that one, the one that's
Oh,
urges collaboration between Title IX office and all other university units? Since we said that.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
strike source 7, but
Okay, strike source.
Oh, yeah, I move to amend SB 2024-1746, to amend and strike source 7, and to strike the insist therefore clause.
you can at the same time if you'd like.
Yeah, and also strike the 6th therefore clause that references insisting of a policy by unanimous consent.
Wait, which therefore clause is it? Sorry.
The,
Insists on university policy. Yeah.
yeah.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. All right.
What was the terminology we settled on for the second therefore clause?
Wait, let me. Oh, I don't know. This one is.
I think it was like supports review, and you didn't like supervisors for practices, you just review of hiring
Supports
practices.
Title IX compliance.
Yeah.
Towards Title IX compliance of hiring practices. Or
Oh.
just towards Title IX compliance within all university units to reinforce the culture of safety. Okay. I move to amend SB 2024-1746 to amend the second therefore clause to strike review of hiring supervisory practice. Oh wait. To strike it so that it reads the U.S. Student Senate calls for compliance with Title IX. Title IX within all university units to reinforce a culture of safety and inclusivity. Is that correct? By unanimous
I'm going
consent.
to type it out and then we'll see.
Yeah, by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
So that was sloppy. My bad, guys.
Yeah, you're good. I think the other thing I got was you said calls on, so I think we changed it to supports because I don't think we can call on them to do it, but I didn't want to object because we do
No,
that.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Maybe
You
we
can
set
make
the
that now,
motion to
yeah.
support. I move to amend SSB 2024-1746 in that same therefore clause to replace the word calls with supports by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Are we striking the clause that says urges to require all faculty athletic staff because we decided that they already need Title IX training?
That's my opinion,
Okay.
but
Okay. I move to amend SB 2024-1746 and strike the third therefore clause that references the requiring of staff to take Title IX training by unanimous consent.
are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. All right.
Do we need to change the therefore classes to end in that period, or is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I think we're gonna start doing that for all of them.
And then we hadn't touched the
Yeah, there's-
the mental health support because you did
Yeah.
the
Oh,
phrasing
yeah.
for additional resources.
I guess while we're here, I don't really know what a public summary of Title IX compliance protocols and annual reports means. Like, does that mean we are complying with Title IX? Send. Or, like, I don't really know what a public summary of compliance protocols is.
Similar to, can I speak?
Yeah.
Similar to how
I'll let the committee rest. Sorry. Yeah, you're good.
similar to how the UFPD sends out emails with like what's going on in terms of the community and like crimes and stolen bikes and thefts and stuff. Title IX office or whoever in the UF department would send out email blasts and like what they've done to ensure compliance with that. That's what I got from that.
There are federal compliance protocols that they have to follow saying they are compliant with Title IX, and I think statewide ones as well. But mostly, I knew they do have to do federal protocols.
I'm just gonna look this up.
I don't know how comprehensive they are. I do know there are some protocols that they have to follow to say we are compliant and do certain things.
I'm curious, just while we're at rest. There's like, I think it's the 804 clause. What do you mean by current and former students? Like any alumni that has ever been
We're striking
We
form.
strike
Yeah.
former.
Yeah, but I'm just, okay, never mind.
I know as part of the annual like crime report, they also have to report things about like violence against women from the Violence Against Women Act, but I don't think that goes fully into Title IX compliance in a lot of ways.
Sorry, I'm on the. What is Clary compliance? Ah, okay. So the Clary Act, is a law that requires the release of campus crime policy and statistics. So that's why we do that. Okay.
Yeah, I know the police, they have to put that out for actual like, crime statistics, but
Yeah.
For the, we're at rest, right? Still.
Oh, yeah, you can keep going. I was just reading some stuff.
For the fifth site, does it matter that it's not hyperlinked? Or does anyone see it hyperlinked and it's just me?
No, is it a website? Or it was just accessed on the web? It looks like a book.
Yeah, that's a book.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a book that he found on the web.
Okay. Yeah, it can
Thank
be
you.
like that then.
Okay.
This is just a personal question. Whenever we reference like sources like that, do we have like like MLA, APA? Like, do we have a certain thing in?
Nope.
Okay.
We do not. I think it should be APA, but
the first time I submitted when I did like 18 sources in APA,
I
you were
know.
like, we just put like, way easier, but
yeah. Easy Bib was freaking out. Okay.
For the proviso, do we need to include the executive director of UFO?
I was about to ask
There were a
this exact same
couple.
question.
Yeah.
We're so smart. We're so
The
insane.
proviso is a bit long.
What's the
Yeah.
What's the onus behind including the alumni association director?
That was, so also following up on your point earlier, that's why we include former students, that was in reference to the fact that the alleged actions that Todd Golden has done were against former UF students,
Mm-hmm.
so we figured it was,
Connecting it to alumni.
yeah,
Okay.
but seeing as I don't think that's gonna get passed,
So since we're striking former,
I don't care either way.
okay, taking off executive director. Okay, cool.
Do we see other?
I'm gonna call the meeting back to order really quick, just
And then do we
so I don't make a motion and forget.
do we want to include the board of trustees chair? I don't think that's
You
like
already did.
necessary.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's a
But-
question. Since we're
But
like at
we're-
rest.
No, oh shoot.
You calling it back?
Yeah, I lay it back to rest.
Okay.
You're good now.
Thank
Go
you
for it.
the question.
All right. So for the board of trustees chair, do we We need to include that. What was the purpose with that one? On the proviso.
Because this is a UF administration policy that we're trying to include, I believe this is a good overarching contact point along with the president. So that way, I believe both Maury and Ken have the best connections to send that out to whoever they need to.
Yeah.
And also, I believe it's kind of customary to include them on most resolutions.
Thank you.
Okay, call the meeting back to order. Okay, I'm going to make a few more motions. Or ask that someone makes the motions. Okay. I move to amend 17. Do I hear a motion to amend 1746 for the therefore fourth to last therefore clause to now state the UF Senate encourages the continued allocation of mental health resources through the Counseling and Wellness Center for students potentially affected by harassment or discrimination by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
I move to amend. Or do you want me to wait?
Yeah, let me let this first.
You're good, you're good.
Okay, you can go for it.
Okay. I move to amend SSB 202411746 in the proviso, striking executive director of UF Alumni Association. Wait, that whole line of from executive director to Ashley, and then also striking interim university president Ken Fuchs and university from interim to Hosseini by unanimous consent.
All right. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
That was Heather Scott.
It was
and-
the alumni association director, and then the Ken Fuchs and the
Okay, there's three. Okay.
Florida Bus Street Stroke. Yeah, those three.
Okay, all right.
Wait, executive director and
Yeah.
who else?
Heather, Canton, Martiza, or Maury?
Okay.
Heather Ashley,
This
Ken Fuchs, and Hosseini.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to strike, and this is going to go with the fact that SLS doesn't do this, the director for SLS from the proviso by unanimous consent?
So moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Okay, wait. Okay. Yeah, I called it back to order, right?
Yes, you did
Yeah.
already.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Just making sure. This one about allocating resources for mental health and legal support kind of duplicates the sentiment in the immediately preceding therefore clause. And I don't believe we can provide legal support to students aside from what's available on the Title IX website. I've never heard of UF providing legal support or any institution. Does anyone have any comments? Sorry, I know this is
For what, SLS?
the third to last therefore clause.
Mm-hmm.
Now reads very similarly to the fourth to last whereas clause.
Yeah, I noticed that same thing.
Um,
They both are
yeah.
allocating resources for support in case of that.
Yeah.
They're saying basically the same thing.
Mhm.
I like instances of misconduct as well. I like that more to be in the previous one, but I don't think legal support makes a lot of sense. And I think this clause already has the same sentiment as the one before it. Does anyone disagree with that?
No, it's
Are
very
you looking
similar.
to add
Okay.
like instances of misconduct and then striking that clause?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think that covers more. So that we're not just advocating for students if they suffer from these two things.
Mhm.
I move to amend SB 202411746 by striking the third to last therefore clause and amending the fourth to last therefore clause to read instances of misconduct rather than harassment and discrimination by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. And then I think there's one more thing I was looking at. Oh, the public summaries.
I move to amend SB 202411746 in the proviso, striking the last two names of Scott Strickland and the faculty senate chair by unanimous consent.
I object.
The motion's been objected to.
Follow up?
Sorry, before you get to Bob, I'm just not sure why they added their names or why we wouldn't send them there.
That's fair.
So I don't want to strike them without understanding those reasonings.
Follow up. Wait. Okay, yeah, follow up. I make the same motion by roll call.
All right.
Okay.
May the clerk please take roll.
Yes. Emma.
Can you repeat the motion one more time to strike Strickland
Strickland and Sarah Lynn.
and then yes?
Okay. Arshawn.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Austin.
No.
Aaron.
Seeing as my vote will not affect the outcome, I abstain. In a vote of 3 to 1 to 1, that motion passes. Yeah, I just want to say I think the most important for this is the Title IX coordinator. And because we're mentioning specifically Director of Counseling and Wellness, we're mentioning the CWC. I think that's very important. Our advocate on the BOT, student body president, and then for overall students, VP of student life. I think we've covered the groups. That's my opinion. But
Yeah, I mean, obviously I understand why the director was put there, and then your faculty senate, I think we talk about a lot about employees at large within this as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I felt like it's probably a valid reason why they added them, but I mean, we voted to remove them, so.
Yeah. Okay. The last thing.
Can I ask a question?
I believe we're still in line for motions. Let me make one more motion. Okay. Just for the therefore clause, talking about public summaries, I don't know how to reword this.
Which one?
The request that UF enhance transparency in policies by providing public summaries, compliance protocols, annual reports. So I'm looking at, I think it would be good at some point in time to direct the reader of this resolution to the resources listed on the website. I noticed that that's not here because there's a whole thing about the policies. Yeah, like the website's great. So the policy statement, scope and jurisdiction, applicability, definitions, prohibited conduct, reporting mechanisms, review and adjudication, employee process. Yeah, like this website's really good. I feel like, I don't know if this is trying to mandate a policy similar to that of the crime report statistics, or if it's trying to raise awareness of the policies that are existing. Because I think the best way to enhance transparency on this would make it very relevant to go to this website and read the policies, because they're all listed out very nicely.
Yeah, I mean, the last therefore clause is for the awareness campaign, so I think that would provide that would saying we should encourage more people to know about these sources and go to them, I would say.
Okay.
Maybe reword that therefore to maybe we support increased transparency in UF policies through the provision of public summaries of compliance protocols and annual reports on initiatives. So we support this, just increase we support increased transparency in Title IX compliance protocols, essentially. The exact wording is a little funky, but
Yeah. No, just the annual reports thing brings me back to the previously stricken clause with us asking for policy. It's not insisting though, which is good.
yeah.
But
And like I think rewording request to supports would lead us further away from trying to say we're trying to enforce this, but we're trying to say we would be in favor of something like this if it's possible, but they would know the Title IX law better than we would, you know?
yeah.
We could remove the part that talks about annual reports and just have it read, providing public summaries of Title IX compliance protocols and reports on youth initiatives to foster a safe environment. Just remove the annual, so it's not necessarily, it's, the demand, if that's the issue, of how much is being demanded from the administration.
It's not, I don't think the demanding itself, it's just that, I don't think any of us know what it's the request. I don't know, this is a tricky. Hard. I want to write it down so I can
Do you want to write it down?
workshop. Do you have a problem with that?
Writing it down.
On this, right below it, so we can just workshop and everyone can edit it.
Yeah, that works.
Sure.
So, okay, we're not actually doing anything, so there doesn't have to be a motion made.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna copy this and put it right below. Okay, and then we can all. So I like the word supports. Oh, wait, I did the wrong one. Oops. 1 second.
Is the editor?
Oh, I can only edit it.
Yes.
Shoot. Okay, well, I'm just gonna edit this as I go, and then if someone has a suggestion. So that the UF Senate supports. I liked that word.
Mm-hmm.
Increased transparency. In
Policies.
Maybe you could say ants policies and maybe through the provision of public summaries of Title IX compliance protocols.
increased transparency. I feel like the word policy isn't necessary there. Through the by providing.
Can you see it clearly being amended?
I have to reopen the
Yeah,
page
you
every
can-
time.
Yeah.
Okay, good, 'cause I'm like, I
Okay,
don't know
that's
what
kind of
to
annoying.
Yeah, the difference a little.
We're on the same Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Make
It's just when you edit it, we have to reopen
Yeah.
it. It opens a snapshot for us.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay.
a live
I was
feed.
just gonna say, I can't follow along.
I'm gonna highlight it, that way people can come back and see it easier if I keep doing things. So.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Through.
Point of information.
Yeah.
Can I get more water or will we have to recess? Get more.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
You can. Yeah, as long as there's no quorum call. Please, no one make a quorum call.
I'm gonna go get a drink.
Yeah.
Wait on that a minute.
Do we need the word providing when we say the continuation of the provision of providing?
Yeah. No. It should keep updating.
Oh, you've updated it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Point of information for us. What is it? Are we getting recorded? Just curious.
Where do you see?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, the assumption is we're always recorded.
No, but I just want
That's-
to know because the camera was oddly pointing. I was curious.
Yeah. No, that's the right of every senator and member of the public. So usually, all judish meetings are recorded. They're all recorded audio.
Yeah.
And then sometimes video.
Cool.
Yeah, that's why I make that little statement at the start, just so that everyone's aware.
What's done with it?
Hmm?
Like the audio and stuff. Is it posted?
The audio is posted on the website, the audio and the minutes, but
But the video?
up
It's
to
just-
whoever takes
It's
it.
just,
It's
yeah.
their,
It's just
yeah.
like public notice for
Interesting.
my new podcast.
It's the same reason you can record anyone you'd like in the Senate chamber, because we've all agreed to be recorded as public officials.
Yeah.
But yeah. Trying to make this. Okay, so it now reads that the U.S. Senate supports increased transparency through the continued posting of all Title IX compliance policies and protocols on the UF website and the listing of new initiatives to foster a safe environment.
Sounds good.
Is the committee at rest? If we're not, we are now. How does that sound to you? Okay. Can you see it as well? It's highlighted on the,
If we reload.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Austin, if you want to reload, we just found.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think that's the best I can word it.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, if you like to writing, that works.
Okay. How does this look? So while we're at rest, does this look okay with everyone?
Should and the listing of new initiatives be moved to before on the UF website if you want it to be posted together?
Well, that's not
Or two
continued
different
posting.
things? Okay.
Because that is not posted currently. Yeah. Does that work? So new, because that it's increased, because I think that probably should be posted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. Yeah, so SLS doesn't do that. All employees are already required to complete online training. We're telling students specifically that Counseling Wellness Center provides resources to them in case they need support. Maintaining the rest of the sources all look good to me. Yeah, this looks great. We're still at rest, so anyone can still speak. If there's anything we would like change, because this is an important piece of legislation for us
I
to.
have just a question not regarding this. But is this
Yeah.
last Judiciary Committee meeting of the semester?
Is this the what?
The last committee meeting of the semester?
It won't be if we have another Senate meeting.
Okay.
If we don't, I don't know. He said maybe.
He said maybe, and he would confirm at this Senate meeting, but he was
Yes.
leaning towards canceling it. So I would assume it's going to be canceled.
Yeah, I don't really know.
So
But
any-
if it is canceled, then this would be the last meeting.
So any bills not heard there will continue over to next semester.
They get
They're
reset.
procedurally withdrawn, but they can be resubmitted.
Okay.
And this is so there's different procedural withdrawals. This could be immediately resubmitted for the next semester. Like any bills that, because we haven't postponed indefinitely or failed anything. Really, it's the postponing indefinitely.
Yeah.
That's where it can't be resubmitted until one after.
After the
So
election confirmation, right? Or no?
legislative session. So if a bill is postponed indefinitely and like still in the docket, it couldn't be resubmitted until after one more legislative session. So fall semester ends, spring starts. When the election happens, that starts the new legislative session. But because nothing's happened like that, then anything can just be immediately resubmitted. All right. Would anyone like to? I call the meeting back to order. Would anyone like to make a motion to replace that clause with the one directly below it? I guess it's not really an official motion, but
I move to amend SSB 2024-1745 and.
Six,
Oh, no.
1%.
Oh, well, yeah,
six
sorry,
at the
it's 4
end.
6, sorry. By what number is there are 4
the
clauses?
fourth to last.
And by replacing the 5th to last therefore clause with the 4th to last.
No, just the fourth to last whereas clause. Therefore clause with the statement that is currently
Okay.
on the bill.
Yeah. So yeah, replace the 4th to last therefore clause with the statement that is currently reflected on the bill by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Okay.
All right. The ands. Do I hear a motion to amend 1746 to strike any instance of semicolon, space, and comma, but in any therefore clause and replace it with period by unanimous consent?
So moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
I move to pass SSB 2024-1746 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, I was going to do sponsors, so we can do that on the floor. Cool, okay.
I move to consider SSB 2024-1717 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to move. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. right, sorry, I'm moving this into the other folder. All right, we are now in line for 1717. You have 5 minutes to present whenever you're ready.
Oh, wait.
Cool. 5 minutes of Q&A. Any questions? Seeing none. 5 minutes of debate. That one clause.
One clause, the bill is, in my opinion, written awfully, and so we're just going to strike that whereas clause about public bathrooms. I'm okay with striking that. That was the only clause.
Therefore clause.
We had the whereas clause where it said this legislation criminalizes these individuals.
Oh,
And I think they might be associated
yes.
therefore. But
Okay.
if we strike those, I mean, the law is written so not great in my opinion. That I'm okay just striking those and making sure we're not worrying about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, the whereas clause that says criminalizes trans and non-binary individuals.
Yeah, because there's different things for like how you actually do that and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it's trying to. I would have to have like 8 whereas clauses to be like this is the actual
further
wording of the law.
clarify.
It's
yeah.
a very complicated.
Yeah,
I encourage everyone to read that bill.
it's a good example of what not to submit as a bill.
Yeah, definitely for any new members and current old members. Keeping up with state legislation is important because it changes frequently. So it's a fun little exercise in literacy. Yeah, so I have the 2 clauses highlighted. We didn't really know how to adjust that.
Yeah, because the question for the therefore clause, I think the word rights, and if we are trying to establish they have the right to do that, versus supporting them to be able to do it. But if we're removing references to the bill in general, I think we just remove that therefore and that whereas, and not have to worry about it too much.
Reading the source too.
What source number is it?
11.
11? Yeah, I think that works.
Oh, I don't want to renumber all these. All
You
right.
gotta renumber everything, sure. You know.
Well, okay, I'll tell the story later. God, I'm old. Okay. Is there any more debate? Seeing none. We're now in line for any vote founder privilege.
I wait.
All right. Any motions?
I move to amend SSB 2024-1717 by striking the 2 highlighted clauses and striking source 11 and changing
Ooh. Okay, yeah, keep going.
and changing each subsequent source number to reflect the proper numbering by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Sorry, I just saw the expand programs again. I'm gonna make a motion, but let me renumber everything first. Okay, I'll tell the story while I'm doing this. So my first meeting, I didn't change any of the bill numbers at the top or any of the amendments, and I just sent the minutes and the recordings to the secretaries, and I was yelled at and told that this is my job and not theirs. So, like, technically, it used to be that the secretaries did a lot of this stuff, but looking at it, I could see why they would never want to agree to that ever again. Okay. Ooh, that color is also... Oh, it's a text box. Why is it doing this to me? Can I make this not red? Do I have to accept it? Accept. Yes, it worked.
Is a suggestion.
Yeah. All right. One more. Are these different? No, they're not. Okay.
You have to change the ands to the or ends period.
Yeah, I have one more amendment before that. Yeah, we had weird things to talk about with this clause as well. I'll highlight it. Do I hear a motion to strike all instances of semicolon, space, and comma for every therefore clause and replace it with a period by unanimous consent?
So,
All right. Do you remember us talking about that one?
Which clause are you looking at?
It's highlighted.
So this is
I
expand
see.
programs.
One second, I gotta reopen it. There it is.
Sorry, I'm trying.
I thought we had reworded this when I fixed it. I can't remember what we did though.
I think we were going to do something and then just decided not to.
Yeah,
because
probably the
we.
other clause we were like, let's table it from this.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Okay, those clauses are good. Alright. So I remember talking about the finding legal pathways thing. Same thing with the one above it, actually. Oh, all of these. Sorry.
I feel like we sold them, then we didn't write them down.
We didn't write them down.
Yeah, then we tabled them.
Ensuring inclusive discussion. Is the issue within constraints of state law or respecting state law and legal pathways? Are those like the conversations?
I think we can make this one. Wait, is that this? This is the same clause twice.
Yeah, the two are.
I was like, we could make
very
this the
similar.
similar clause. So we did write it down.
You're just
It was the
place.
second one of the three. It was the first one
Okay.
because the consider is new
Yeah.
and the last words are different. I feel like this could be one clause. These three that are here right now.
Yeah, just make it like a list of like
Yeah.
things.
Like the last one is the most complete. It's almost fully complete, in my opinion. Okay. Urges the university to maintain academic discussions relating to the list in the third one while while respecting state law instead of finding legal pathways.
Sure.
That
Yeah, that
okay.
works. Yeah.
I'm gonna write it here.
Do you want to include the part from the first one saying, or the second one saying, supporting inclusive discussions and instruction on sexual orientation, gender identity, in that same list from the third one?
So, gender identity would be within gender studies, or am I
Yeah.
incorrect in assuming that?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
Both sexual orientation and gender identity could be considered under gender studies, to
Okay.
be fair.
I'm not fully educated on the exact topics, so if anyone has any clarity.
I'm in gasp, guys.
He knows.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be considered. I feel like that could be fine.
Does that sound good? What I have there in the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we're just gonna strike the first two.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Already in order. I called the meeting back to order if we weren't already.
I move to amend SSB 2024-1717 by striking the first two, there are four clauses, and having the third reflect what's written on paper, and also changing the therefore clause to be therefore let it be resolved. Striking the further, because it will be the first clause
Got it.
by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
You currently have the word and at the end of it, I think.
I got rid of it.
Okay.
Now let me unhighlight. And then this should be good.
I'm just curious, for like format stuff, like highlighting and font, does that have to be amended, or is it just wording? We don't have to, no.
So the only things that have to be amended is any word changes, technically, or like striking anything that is written down. If you were to change the font or the sizing of the text or the spacing, technically that's clerical, because you're not removing any content.
Yeah, as well as we removed the source and you renumbered the source numbers, but not the sources in the whereas clauses themselves.
Oh.
So all of those are off by 1. The original one was 11, so anyone that's greater than 11, they just need to be lowered by 1 in the whereas clauses.
I'm just gonna make this 12, 13. I'm just not gonna have a source 11.
Okay.
I think that works perfectly. Yeah.
That works.
That's a
I
great
still want this to be
catch.
linking the wrong sources
Yes,
out of it, so.
that's a great
Just so
catch.
you know, this is weird. In one of the 4 clauses, one of the words is just a different font, which I think is kind of funny.
Is it and?
No, it's mental.
Interesting. Where?
Here. It's the second or 4th clause on this page. Support mental. It's just different. Here.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. Let me change that.
I have no idea why the fonts would change.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This Proviso Chief Bargainer Patrick Keegan, he's the assistant provost. Do we need to include him? And if we do, do we have to put his like title?
So I know that Austin has a relationship with the chief bargainer. So that inclusion to me, from his perspective, makes a lot of sense. I see what you're saying, but I think that there's a reason you included this name, and I know that
He does all of the union bargaining, so he is the one they're probably going to have these discussions with as they relate to like grad students and things like that. So.
Okay.
All right, I'm making sure we didn't forget something else from the last meeting. I think we did everything.
Okay. Are we good then? Okay. I move to pass SSP 2024-1717 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
I make a motion to move into the consideration of SSP 2024-1745 by unanimous consent.
I object.
That motion has been objected to.
I remake that motion not by unanimous consent.
All right, we are in line for a vote on moving back into 1745. May the clerk please take roll.
Of course, Emma?
No.
Arshan?
No.
Sarah?
No.
Austin?
Yes.
Aaron?
Seeing as my vote will not affect the outcome, I abstain. In a vote of 1 to 3 to 1, that motion fails.
Are we allowed to not hear a motion or hear a bill that has been submitted? Because we haven't heard it at all, correct?
Yeah. I mean, technically, so I don't even think that motion was necessary because it was the only one left.
That's
So
fair.
we're-
I didn't know if it would be
so
necessary.
we
or not. That's why I was
automatically
making it. Yeah, because we haven't heard it at all.
move,
So that's
yeah.
why I was. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure because we had moved past it earlier, so I didn't know if we'd have to move back into it or if it was the last one left, we have to hear it. So
Yeah, we move back into it. So you keep going until either you get through all the legislation, the room is closed, or the meeting is adjourned.
should have made a point of order
Yeah,
and asked.
yeah.
before I
Sorry.
used it. That's my bad.
Technically, you can strike that motion. Do you rescind that motion?
I can rescind that motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can strike that.
Both, yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right.
I move to adjourn the meeting by unanimous consent.
I object.
That motion's been objected to. We're now in line for a vote on adjourning the meeting.
I'll let the roll call, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. May the clerk please take roll.
Of course, Emma?
Yes.
Arshan?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Austin?
No.
Aaron?
Seeing as the vote does not affect the outcome, I abstain from this vote. In a vote of 3 to 1, that motion passes. This meeting is adjourned at 3:55 p.m. on Sunday, November 17th, 2024. Thank you, everyone.